So with the development of new technologies, say like the internet, comes the possibility to change our lives, right? In so many different ways. And often that includes how we achieve our goals, whether they're financial, health related, relationship wise. The possibility of AI to do this for us has kind of been thrusted into the mainstream with the release of ChatGPT to the public. And when I was using this, like a lot of people, I realized this technology would change the way we live, but I was really focused on like how I could use this in the immediate, like right now, to impact my life and make things easier, or make things smoother, or help me to get to my goals quicker or more efficiently. And that's what I really want to share here. So in case you haven't come across it yet, ChatGPT is effectively an AI assistant. It's capable of understanding and generating human-like text. And whilst that may seem a bit like, what does that really mean? It means that with a few sentences, right, even sometimes a single line, you can generate very specific outputs to what you are looking for in terms of, like I said, finances, even code, or like you want a shopping list of a particular sort. But you know what? I'm going to show you on my screen a few ways that you can use this right now to start impacting your life. Let's start with fitness, because I know for a lot of us, we have fitness goals, whether they be to lose weight, gain weight, build muscle. There's so many things that a lot of us are trying to do. And one of the great things that Chat is able to do is effectively give you things like a shopping list based on a particular meal plan that it generates from you by you giving it information. And the great thing here is you may be thinking, I could just get a generic one online, but you can give it very specific information about the kind of foods you like, what kind of calorie intake you're looking for, the foods that you don't like, and start to generate something that's very specific to you. And then you can do things like, I'd actually like to see this in a table format. I'm not interested in this long list. Or actually, can you generate an ingredients list so that I can go to the supermarket and get all the things that I need for this particular meal prep? And it's quite incredible what you can do with this and how specific you can start to get. Now, I do want to say as a caveat for this and for all of these, this isn't like a one source of truth type of thing where I'd say, abandon all nutrition information or abandon all everything and use only this. But you can start to see, because it's pulling information from a number of sources, that it can get really, really cool. Okay, so that's just one example, right? We can see that we can start to use it and incorporate it in our fitness goals and the systems we're creating around that. What about, say we have professional goals that we have to do around communication is a blocker for us right now. If you're maybe struggling to write emails to business partners or to potential clients, right? It's not really sounding how you want to. Maybe it's sounding overly done, too formal or not formal enough. Maybe it just doesn't have enough flair to it. So maybe you've got a template or something and you're like, I'd like to really jazz this up. And so you give it to ChatGPT and it does all its magic for you. And you say, actually, can you make this piece of text a little bit more formal? Actually, can you add this here? And, or can you expand on that point over there? And again, it's really cool what it's able to do. And so you can go from having this kind of basic sounding email that you need for clients and stuff to something that sounds a lot more elaborate and a lot more professional. But the same is the case with things like cover letters. Maybe you are in the process of looking for a new job or switching careers and you need help with your cover letter. Maybe you've got a cover letter written up and it's, again, just not really quite what you want. And so you pass it to ChatGPT and you're like, work your magic. Not work your magic. You do actually have to say genuinely things that you want, but you kind of get the point of what I'm saying here. Or you can just give it a little bit of information and it will build out the cover letter for you. And again, I'm going to show you on the screen like what that kind of looks like, because it really is quite incredible. Now, really, you can kind of see how this would expand out to like all forms of written communication and even spoken communication, which we'll kind of talk about later. But maybe you write blog posts and you kind of want that to be embellished or made a little bit better, or any case. And I'm not suggesting that you take away yourself completely from the process so that it just is like, it doesn't reflect you at all. Although if you want to do that, you can do that as well. But I'm using this, like it says, as an assistant to help me in what I'm trying to achieve and help maximize my outputs. And so they also have a high quality. And this can also be the case if like you struggle with writing as well. Like, I'm not the best at writing. I'll be the first to say it. Like, speaking is something I'm a lot more comfortable with. Writing, on the other hand, it's a bit wishy-washy, like it's hit and miss. So something like this is like amazing to me. I can just write what I want in my own words, how I would say it, and then boom. Okay, so that's another thing, but how else could you use this maybe for your professional or personal goals? Well, this one's kind of for my techies, but if you are potentially learning to code or trying to build your own application or even working on something at work, and there's a kind of a caveat that you don't want to give it like sensitive information from work to the machine, but there's ways that you can get what you need without giving any information that's going to compromise anything. So in the past, I've had to do a test for a particular job, right? And it asked me to kind of build this really simple application and, it's had to do certain things, but that's beside the point. Here is what the code that I wrote looked like, and it's not the best code ever, so don't judge me on that. I'm not a developer, but it's great because you can feed it to ChatGPT and be like, improve this, like optimize this code, or better yet, you can just tell it to build the code for you. Like, this is where it starts to get really insane, and where people from like the development and engineering background are like, what does this mean for our careers, and what does it mean for like how, you know, tech departments look in the future? Because I can just say, build me an application or write me the code in JavaScript for a basic web application that, you know, hits this endpoint and does this and returns me an activity for however many participants, and it takes an input, and there you go, I have the code that I can, like, you know, maybe put into my IDE or whatever I'm using and run it and see if it works. And a lot of the time it does, and sometimes it doesn't, but it's really cool because you can then go back to it and be like, hey, this didn't work, or there seems to be an error in this thing, or why isn't it working? And it will explain to you why it's done certain things in the code. You can ask it, why did you use that particular function, or anything like that, or how can I use something else to get the same output? And so you're learning at the same time, because people will honestly say that, well, if you just get the code from that, then how are you going to learn? And I can't completely understand that, but you can ask it questions, and this is like a change in the way we educate ourselves, because instead of necessarily having to have somebody on hand all the time, you can refer back to chat in order to say, like, you know what, I don't really understand this, or I seem to keep getting this error when I'm running this piece of code. Do you understand why that is? And it can also give you ideas on how to troubleshoot. Basically, the tech side of this is a bit wild. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. It's exciting, it's scary, it's a lot of things, it's a lot of emotions right now. I just don't know. Okay, so let's move on to something else. Maybe your goal for the new year is to do with content creation. Perhaps you are wanting to get, you know, more into your content creation, or you start content creation and you're kind of stuck on ideas. Maybe you have a niche, you have some basic ideas, but you're not quite sure where to go from it. Well, introducing ChatGPT. What you do with this varies from being able to just get ideas specific to your niche and asking Chat to kind of like break those things down further and, you know, give you information on where to source the stats for this, or source kind of the information like books and stuff around this, to literally asking it to write you scripts, like full on scripts of this, that, or outline a video for me, like including like what kind of images I should use or clips. It can get very wild, right? Like, ask it to write you a TikTok script. Let's take another example. Maybe you're looking to switch careers and you just have no idea where to start, right? You may have a particular background in something and think, how can I link this to this particular job that I want to do or go for? Or how can I create kind of a learning plan for myself? Or what kind of things do I need to get in terms of skills and all that sort of stuff? And again, get specific to your background and how things may overlap, or kind of what courses you need. Again, we can go to ChatGPT and it will be able to supply you with this kind of information, which is again really cool. And I think the main thing that separates this out, well, one of the main things that separates this from Google is, one, how specific you can get. Two, you can go back and forth with it. So you can say, actually, can you expand on that for me? Or I don't really understand what you mean by this. Or is there another way to look at this? Or what if I have a degree in geography? Can I still do this? Or how would I go about doing it? What's the best way? I don't really like courses that are set up like this. Can you offer something else? And so it becomes like a conversation you're having like with an assistant, versus just kind of going to Google, tapping on links, hoping that link's going to have the information that you want and so forth. This is not to bash Google, right? Like, Google, YouTube, still love it. That's why I'm here. But we can't deny what this means. The way that we access information is changing. Now, there are some caveats I just want to put about this. Like, it's not always 100% right, like I've said. It is also the fact that this data is limited to 2021 at the moment, right? So we're not getting this basically the last of 2022's data, or 2023, or anything like that. Which of course means that the freshness of the data may be a problem if you're looking for things that relate to, and things going on right now. But that's not to take away from, again, all the things that I've said and how you can use this to achieve your goals. Anyway, I think this is so exciting. I think we are on the frontier of a new world. And the thing is, this is just one platform, one company working with AI and offering it to the public. There are so many different ones. I think Notion is coming out with one, if it's not already out. And because I saw that and I'm on the wait list for that, there's a wealth of different AI based platforms and what they can do for us. I mean, some of them we already use and we don't even realize it's like necessarily artificial intelligence that is driving it. But it's really cool. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any ideas about how you want to use this. I will leave the link in the description to ChatGPT and try it out. Come back to me. How do you feel about this as well? Like, do you think this is going to harm us as a society, enrich us, somewhere between? Will we be able to stop the bots taking over? Who knows? But yeah, I was really excited about this video and I hope it helps you in some way. See you in the next video.